Hello, moon babies. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, I'm Molly. I am an illustrator, an art witch, and author of Art Magic, How to Become an Art Witch and Unlock Your Creative Power. And today I want to talk about unlocking creative power, particularly when we feel as though we are creatively stuck. So in my own experience and experience in working with other moon babies, the creative block can show up in a couple of ways. It can be as simple as being uninspired. It can be a sense of boredom. It can also be a moment where we're ready for something new, perhaps a new phase in our lives or a new phase in our creativity. It can also show up as a creative plateau. So we've reached a level of creative magic that we're ready to launch into something else entirely. And creative block can feel boring, it can feel dry, but it can also feel a little painful and it can feel scary. So we're going to talk about my 3 tried and true ways, simple ways, things you can do right now, today, to unblock your creative magic and get it moving again. So the first thing I want to tell you is if you are in this space of feeling uncreative or uninspired or worried you'll never have another good idea again, first, this happens to everyone. It is totally normal. There is nothing broken or wrong or unmagical about you, pumpkin, okay? Creative cycles and creative seasons happen. We're not going to be in a highly prolific state all of the time, just as we won't be in creative deserts all of the time. So deep breath. So my number one suggestion for getting out of a creative funk is a really, really easy spell. I just like to move things around. Move things around in your physical environment. And this doesn't mean you have to go out and buy lots of things to add to your environment. It can be about intentionally moving things in your home, in your creative workspace, or your sacred space. I find the spaces that have the most juice for me are creative spaces. So my studio where I'm working, it could be your desk, it could be where you do your creative work, it could be a spiritual space for you. So that might be an altar or a meditation nook, or if you have a room that you use or dedicate to spiritual work, those spaces are really, really potent areas where we can curate. So we can take some things away, add things, move them around, and give a space a feeling of freshness and gets our imaginations feeling differently about a space. My honey always knows when I'm on the verge of a new idea because they'll come home and all of the furniture has moved. So playing with and rearranging our sacred and creative spaces is an illuminating way to bust through our creative block, but it's also a really gentle, playful, low pressure creative activity that can just, that can give us the little jiggle that we need to get things moving. Next, I'd like to talk about novelty. So if our creative magic is feeling kind of stale, we can give it a gentle nudge with a sense of novelty. So that means trying something new, trying something just for fun. And that could be a new supply, it could be a new skill, it could be a new process. So in my personal experience, when I'm butting up against resistance to paint, all right, so to create a large scale painting, I will putter about with polymer clay, or I'll work with assemblage, or I will create lots of little tiny books. I will try something new. I will go to the art supply store and perhaps pick out something I've never used before. Or I'll head to my local thrift shop and pick up something for $1 and challenge myself to make something with the treasure I found. Our inner art witch thrives on newness, and introducing a bit of novelty into our lives can help reignite our creative enthusiasm. And the final piece I'd like to talk about today in our creative block discussion is healthy obsessions. So healthy obsessions is another way for us to speak about the muse. It's that thing you can't stop thinking about. So healthy obsessions are those niche, really niche, or seemingly random interests that don't necessarily have something directly to do with your creative practice, but are the things that really turn you on. So what is currently calling out for your attention? What is piquing your interest? And what's flirting with your imagination from the periphery? So some examples of current obsessions from my own life right now are fungi, images of fungi, movies about fungi, pictures of fungi of any shape and size, castles on the Rhine River, learning how to make pavlova, and Hellenistic astrology. We can discover new obsessions with a trip to the library. They could be inspired by a documentary or a spirited conversation. These can be brought to our attention through travel, learning. It could be embarking on an obsession walk where you set out on a quest to find new obsessions. Or it could be something like starting a journal or an art journal or a catalog of your current obsessions. So these little niche, random, creative practice adjacent curiosities are really the breadcrumbs that lead us to that mysterious, enchanted forest part of our imaginations. Follow the breadcrumbs. The weirder, the better. And there you have it. I really hope that these tips help you and coax your creativity out of hiding. I want to thank you so much for being here, for watching, listening, and subscribing. And if you would like more inspiration just like this sprinkled into your inbox, make sure that you sign up for the Moon Baby mailing list so you never miss a thing. And until we speak again, I can't wait to see what kind of magic you create, Moon Baby. Witch on, witch boldly, and be well. Mwah. I would like to express deep gratitude to all of the Moon Babies on Patreon who support this work and make this channel possible. Discover your very own library of art magic goodies by becoming a patron today.